men and women, it's complementary, not competitive. So in child rearing, in the family unit, the woman's role is highly significant and she's ahead. However, when it comes to protection, providing, that's the role of the man. Now, if you're living in a society like the UK, certain people will say, look, what does Islam say? Islam says the man should be provided, the woman should be the one looking after kids. Like that's the traditional role. However, if you're in a situation where it's difficult for you to survive, what do? Is the woman allowed to work? We'll say, look, in a situation where there's this or that, the allowance is given. Do you see? So there's a distinction between what does traditionally Islam say. Traditionally, the man is supposed to be the qawwam, the man is supposed to be the leader, and the woman is supposed to be the one who looks after the home and makes it a conducive environment. Like she has the key to the womb. So like that's not going to change. However, would people say, look, we're living in the UK and we need to earn and we need to do this? Of course, that thing will be. However, when it comes to Saudi, you'll see they will say stuff like, in Saudi they will say, before they said, oh, women aren't allowed to drive and this and that.
I was going to bring that up. So first,
so there would be a difference.
No need to go into the detail, but first, two questions. First, yes or no, was there basis in religious texts to prevent them from driving?
Yes.
And B, now that they are allowed to drive, is that saying that that's one of the rules which is no longer appropriate for our time?
Not necessarily, because the things that will be categorical in Islam will be the beliefs. Yeah. When it comes to how to, for example, one God, you're not going to get a Muslim coming and say there's two gods.
Yeah.
Or the 5 prayers. No Muslim's going to say no, there's 6 prayers.
So was the reason women couldn't drive one of these categorical
things? This was an interpretative practice that was implemented by the kingdom, which later they deemed, it's not necessarily conducive.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not something stipulated by Islam, but it falls within the gender roles that, look, it's not befitting because do you see?
Yeah. So that just circles back to my point that there's like, with things that, because like gender roles were much stronger in France and the UK decades ago.
Yeah.
In the same way, places that are mostly Muslim are making the same realizations that this or that, and they're contextualizing it, and it's interpretation based. And when I was asking, is there things that have been changed societally in France and the UK that Muslim countries see as positives, that to you would be one of the examples that has been taken on by a Muslim country?
That's Saudi Arabia, and that was their interpretation. Again, it depends on which morality a person's coming from. If a person's coming with the morality that, freedom and, a harm principle and this and that, I mean, that we're measuring at 2 different yardsticks. If the measurement is done with, the family unit, if the measurement is done when it comes to preventing vice within the community, i.e. adultery, would do that. I mean, I would argue, based on the morality of Islam, one of the reasons we put high emphasis on the family unit is because of the consequences that comes from promiscuity and immorality, what it can affect, the effects it can have on the child, on the mother, the father, on the relationship, the trauma that comes with it. So again, that's why it would, if you had more time, we would have had a more kind of organized kind of discussion first.
Well, I've gotten what I wanted from the discussion, which is understanding the context, the way people.
That's why I didn't want to speak at you. I was like, look,
I really appreciate it.
No, my pleasure,
What's
bro.
your name again?
My name is Zeeshan.
Zeeshan, nice to.
So I have a YouTube channel called Smile to Jannah. Jannah is Jannah. Jannah is paradise in Arabic.
Okay.
So JANNAH.
Okay, Smile to Jannah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
No,
Thanks
my
for
pleasure.
answering my questions.
No, my pleasure, Dorian.
Really useful.
Yeah, enjoy yourself. Oh, be careful. Enjoy yourself in, was it Dubai, yeah?
Yeah.
I take it.
All right.
Yeah, take it, bye. And bro, Dorian, just, I think the brother left this for you, just a bit of literature, just a bit of reading, maybe can help you in your travels in the English language. So one is a Quran, and one is just like...
I might, why not?
Yeah.
Is it written in prose or is it understandable?
This one, is it the Sahih International? No, this is going to be understandable. Yeah, but it's written under. It's not going to be thy, thou.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
understandable. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Because sometimes if you go into some shop, costs like £5, £10, you get for free.
Lovely, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care, my brother.
I did.
Salam. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Because one of the brothers,
Salam. Habibi. How are you?
he said, what's your number? Because the brother is waiting for someone.
Okay. Okay.
And he keeps coming back.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Take care.